Little Sophia had always been a bright and curious child, but nothing could have prepared her for the life-changing event that occurred on her 5th birthday. As the candles flickered on her cake, surrounded by her loving parents and grandparents, a man in a suit arrived at their modest home. He carried with him news that would alter the course of Sophia's life forever. It turned out that Sophia's great-uncle, a reclusive millionaire she had never met, had passed away and left his entire fortune to his youngest living relative, Sophia. The inheritance amounted to a staggering $50 million, a sum that seemed impossible for the young girl to comprehend. Her parents, hard-working middle-class folks, were stunned by the sudden windfall. They worried about how this enormous wealth might affect their daughter's future and values. As news of Sophia's inheritance spread, their small town buzzed with excitement and speculation. Some people suggested lavish purchases, while others advised investing the money for Sophia's future. But young Sophia had ideas of her own. In the days following her birthday, she spent hours drawing pictures and talking to her stuffed animals about all the things she wanted to do. Her parents listened with growing amazement as their 5-year-old daughter outlined plans that showed wisdom beyond her years. Sophia's first decision was to help her best friend Emma's family. Emma's mother had been struggling with medical bills after a long illness, and Sophia insisted on paying off their debt. The joy and relief on Emma's family's faces brought tears to everyone's eyes. But Sophia wasn't done yet. She asked her parents to take her to the local animal shelter, where she declared she wanted to build a bigger, better home for all the animals. The shelter had been struggling for years, and Sophia's generous donation allowed them to construct a state-of-the-art facility with room for twice as many animals. As word of Sophia's kindness spread, more and more people came forward with ideas and requests. Rather than being overwhelmed, Sophia embraced each opportunity to help with enthusiasm. She funded repairs for the town's only playground, ensuring all children had a safe place to play. She donated books to the underfunded library and sponsored free lunch programs at local schools. Each act of generosity seemed to inspire Sophia to do more. Her parents watched in awe as their little girl's empathy and compassion touched life after life. They made sure to guide her gently, teaching her about responsible spending and the importance of saving for the future. But they also encouraged her natural inclination towards philanthropy, proud of the way she was handling her unexpected wealth. As months passed, Sophia's influence spread beyond her small town. News outlets picked up the story of the 5-year-old millionaire with a heart of gold. Sophia's simple yet profound acts of kindness inspired people across the country. Children started organizing fundraisers and volunteering at local charities, eager to follow in Sophia's footsteps. Adults reconsidered their own spending habits, looking for ways to make a positive impact in their communities. Sophia's story reached the ears of a famous television host, who invited her and her parents onto his show. The host was amazed by Sophia's articulate responses and her genuine desire to help others. When asked why she chose to use her money the way she did, Sophia's answer left the entire studio in tears. "Because everyone deserves to be happy," she said simply. "And if I can make someone smile, then that makes me happy too." The audience gave her a standing ovation, moved by the wisdom and compassion of this remarkable child. As Sophia's 6th birthday approached, she had one more surprise in store. She announced her intention to start a foundation that would continue her work of helping others long into the future. With the guidance of financial advisors and her parents, Sophia set up the Little Hearts, Big Dreams Foundation. The Foundation's mission was to support children's education, animal welfare, and community development projects around the world. Sophia's story continued to inspire millions. Books were written about her, documentaries were made, and she even inspired a line of dolls that came with their own miniature charity projects. But through it all, Sophia remained the same kind, curious, and generous little girl. She still loved playing with her friends, cuddling with her stuffed animals, and drawing pictures of the world as she imagined it could be. As Sophia grew older, her foundation flourished, touching countless lives. She remained hands-on in its operation, always looking for new ways to make a difference. Her parents made sure she had as normal a childhood as possible, while nurturing her extraordinary gift for empathy and problem-solving. Sophia's inheritance had indeed changed her life, but not in the ways many might have expected. Instead of lavish toys or extravagant vacations, she found joy in the happiness she could bring to others. Her story became a powerful reminder that true wealth lies not in the amount of money one has, but in the positive impact one can make on the world. Years later, when asked about her childhood decision to use her inheritance for good, Sophia would smile and say, "I may have inherited money, but the real gift was the opportunity to make a difference." And that's something anyone can do, with or without millions. Her legacy continued to inspire generations, proving that even the smallest hands can leave the biggest imprints on the world when guided by a loving heart. Sophia's journey of generosity continued to unfold in ways that touched hearts and inspired change across the globe. As she entered her teenage years, her foundation, Little Hearts, Big Dreams, had become a beacon of hope for countless individuals and communities. The young philanthropist's approach to charity evolved as she grew, always maintaining the pure intention she had as a 5-year-old, but now armed with greater understanding and resources. One of Sophia's most impactful projects emerged when she was 14. Inspired by her love for animals and concern for the environment, she spearheaded an initiative to create sustainable wildlife corridors across the country. This ambitious project involved purchasing land to connect fragmented habitats, allowing animals to migrate safely and maintain genetic diversity. The project not only benefited countless species but also created jobs in conservation and ecotourism, revitalizing rural communities. Sophia's education became a unique blend of traditional schooling and real-world experience. Her parents, ever mindful of providing a balanced upbringing, ensured she attended regular classes with her peers. However, her field trips often involved visiting foundation projects around the world. By 16, Sophia had traveled to over 50 countries, witnessing firsthand the challenges faced by different communities and ecosystems. These experiences shaped Sophia's worldview and fueled her passion for change. She began to see the interconnectedness of global issues, how poverty affected education, how environmental degradation impacted health, and how lack of opportunity perpetuated cycles of hardship. This holistic understanding led her to develop more comprehensive, multifaceted approaches to the Foundation's work. One such approach was the Village of Tomorrow initiative. This project selected struggling villages around the world and implemented a comprehensive 5-year plan to transform them. The plan included sustainable agriculture training, renewable energy installation, education programs, healthcare services, and microfinance opportunities. The results were astounding, with pilot villages showing dramatic improvements in quality of life, economic stability, and environmental sustainability. As Sophia's profile grew, so did the scrutiny she faced. Critics argued that her wealth gave her an unfair advantage and questioned whether a teenager could truly understand the complexities of global issues. Sophia met these challenges with grace and transparency. She openly acknowledged her privileged position but emphasized that her goal was to use that privilege to empower others. She also surrounded herself with experts in various fields, always eager to learn and improve her foundation's strategies. Despite her global influence, Sophia never forgot her roots. Her hometown remained a testing ground for many of her ideas. The animal shelter she had helped as a child had grown into a leading wildlife rehabilitation center. The playground she had repaired now anchored a network of community parks and gardens throughout the town. The school lunch program she had funded evolved into a farm-to-table initiative that provided nutritious meals to students, while supporting local farmers. As she approached adulthood, Sophia faced a new challenge, balancing her philanthropic work with her desire for personal growth and education. After much deliberation, she decided to attend university, choosing to study a unique combination of environmental science, economics, and social policy. Her goal was to gain a deeper understanding of the systems she hoped to change. University life brought new perspectives and challenges. For the first time, Sophia was in an environment where she wasn't known primarily for her wealth or charitable work. She formed genuine friendships, engaged in heated debates about global issues, and even experienced her first romance. These experiences helped round out her character, making her not just a philanthropist, but a more complete, empathetic human being. During her college years, Sophia also began to shift the focus of her foundation. While continuing its existing projects, she started to emphasize empowerment and education over direct aid. She believed that the most sustainable change came from within communities themselves. This led to the creation of the Dreamers and Doers program, which identified young leaders in underserved communities and provided them with education, mentorship, and resources to implement their own ideas for local improvement. As Sophia's 21st birthday approached, the day she would gain full control of her inheritance, the world watched with bated breath. Would sudden adulthood and complete financial freedom change the course she had set as a child? Sophia answered these questions with characteristic thoughtfulness and compassion. On her birthday, she announced the most ambitious project yet, a global network of innovation hubs. These centers, to be built in underserved areas around the world, would provide access to education, technology, and resources for local entrepreneurs and innovators. The goal was to nurture homegrown solutions to local and global challenges, from climate change to healthcare access. Sophia's journey from a wide-eyed 5-year-old to a visionary young adult captured the world's imagination. Her story was not just about the good that great wealth could do, but about the power of compassion, creativity, and perseverance. She showed that age was no barrier to making a difference and that even the largest problems could be tackled with determination and a willingness to learn. As Sophia stood on the cusp of her adult life, she reflected on the incredible journey that began with an unexpected inheritance. She realized that the true gift hadn't been the money, but the opportunity to touch so many lives and the lessons she had learned along the way. Looking to the future, Sophia felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. She knew that her work was far from over, in fact, it was just beginning. The little girl who had once decided to use her millions to make others smile had grown into a young woman with a vision for global change. And as she had done since that fateful 5th birthday, Sophia continued to approach each day with the same question: how can I make the world a little bit better today? It was this unwavering commitment to positive change that continued to inspire millions around the world, proving that the greatest inheritance of all is the power to make a difference. As Sophia entered her mid-20s, her global network of innovation hubs began to bear fruit in ways that exceeded even her most optimistic projections. These centers, strategically located in underserved areas across 6 continents, became crucibles of creativity and progress. In a small village in rural India, a young engineer developed a low-cost water purification system that could be easily manufactured and maintained locally. In a favela in Brazil, a group of teenage girls created a mobile app that connected local artisans with global markets, revitalizing traditional crafts and boosting the local economy. In a remote Alaskan town, a team of indigenous developers designed a revolutionary wind turbine adapted for extreme Arctic conditions, paving the way for sustainable energy solutions in harsh environments. Sophia's approach to philanthropy continued to evolve. She recognized that while her wealth could catalyze change, true transformation required shifts in systems and mindsets. This realization led her to venture into previously uncharted territory for her foundation: policy advocacy and corporate partnerships. The Green Future Initiative became Sophia's most ambitious and controversial project to date. It aimed to accelerate the global transition to renewable energy by combining grassroots innovation, corporate accountability, and policy change. Sophia used her influence to bring together a coalition of forward-thinking business leaders, passionate activists, and pragmatic policymakers. Together, they developed a comprehensive plan that included investment in green technologies, retraining programs for workers in fossil fuel industries, and incentives for businesses to reduce their carbon footprint. The initiative faced fierce opposition from entrenched interests, and Sophia found herself navigating the complex world of international politics and corporate negotiations. There were moments of doubt and setbacks, but Sophia's unwavering commitment and the growing global network of supporters she had cultivated over the years helped push the initiative forward. 3 years into the Green Future Initiative, tangible results began to emerge. Several countries adopted ambitious clean energy targets, major corporations pledged to go carbon neutral, and investment in renewable technologies skyrocketed. The innovation hubs played a crucial role, producing a steady stream of breakthroughs in energy storage, sustainable materials, and eco-friendly manufacturing processes. As the world grappled with the escalating impacts of climate change, Sophia's foundation launched the Resilient Communities program. This initiative focused on helping vulnerable populations adapt to environmental changes while building more sustainable and equitable societies. From developing drought-resistant farming techniques in sub-Saharan Africa to creating floating gardens in flood-prone regions of Southeast Asia, the program empowered communities to face climate challenges head-on. Despite her global focus, Sophia never lost sight of individual stories. She made it a point to regularly visit projects on the ground, connecting with the people whose lives were being impacted by her foundation's work. These interactions kept her grounded and continually renewed her sense of purpose. One such visit to a small coastal town in the Philippines proved particularly impactful. The town had been devastated by a typhoon years earlier and was struggling to rebuild. Through the Resilient Communities program, they had implemented an innovative mangrove restoration project that not only protected the coastline but also created new economic opportunities through sustainable aquaculture and ecotourism. During her visit, Sophia met Maria, a local fisherwoman who had lost everything in the typhoon. Maria shared how the program had not only helped her rebuild her livelihood but also gave her a new sense of purpose as a community leader and environmental steward. Tears welled up in Sophia's eyes as Maria hugged her, saying, "You may have started this with your money, but we've continued it with our hearts." This encounter reinvigorated Sophia's commitment to empowering local leadership. She expanded the Dreamers and Doers program, creating a global network of community leaders who could share experiences, resources, and support across borders. This network became a powerful force for change, with local innovations quickly spreading and adapting to new contexts around the world. As Sophia approached her 30th birthday, she faced new personal challenges. The demands of running a global foundation had taken a toll on her personal life. She had dedicated so much of herself to her work that she had neglected other aspects of her life. Realizing the importance of balance, not just for herself but as an example to others, Sophia made a conscious effort to nurture her personal relationships and pursue interests outside of her philanthropic work. She took up painting again, a hobby she had loved as a child but had abandoned as her responsibilities grew. To her surprise, she found that this creative outlet enhanced her problem-solving skills and brought fresh perspectives to her work. She also began practicing meditation, which helped her manage the stress of her position and cultivate greater empathy and clarity. Sophia's personal growth reflected in her leadership style. She became more collaborative, empowering her team to take on greater responsibilities and fostering a culture of innovation within the foundation. This approach led to the creation of the Future Leaders Academy, an intensive program that identified and nurtured promising young changemakers from around the world. The Academy became a melting pot of ideas and cultures, bringing together young visionaries from diverse backgrounds. These future leaders were challenged to think critically about global issues and work together to develop innovative solutions. Many graduates of the Academy went on to lead impactful projects in their home countries, further extending the reach of Sophia's vision. As her 30th birthday approached, Sophia reflected on the incredible journey that had begun with an unexpected inheritance a quarter-century earlier. She marveled at how a decision made by a 5-year-old had set in motion a chain of events that had touched millions of lives. Yet, she also recognized that the work was far from over. The world still faced enormous challenges: climate change, inequality, conflict, and emerging threats that no one had anticipated. But Sophia faced these challenges with a sense of hope and determination. She had seen firsthand the power of compassion, innovation, and collective action to create positive change. On the eve of her birthday, Sophia made another announcement that captured global attention. She pledged to give away 95% of her wealth during her lifetime, challenging other ultra-wealthy individuals to do the same. But more than that, she announced a new vision for her foundation: to work towards a world where such extreme accumulation of wealth would no longer be necessary or desirable. This new direction aimed to address the root causes of global inequality and environmental degradation. It involved rethinking economic systems, promoting regenerative practices, and fostering a global culture of empathy and interconnectedness. It was Sophia's most ambitious goal yet, not just to alleviate symptoms of global problems, but to fundamentally transform the systems that created them. As she blew out the candles on her 30th birthday cake, surrounded by a diverse group of friends, colleagues, and beneficiaries of her work, Sophia made a wish. She wished not for personal gain or recognition, but for the strength and wisdom to continue making a positive difference in the world. The story of the 5-year-old who inherited millions had evolved into a lifelong commitment to global change. Sophia's journey inspired millions, not just because of the scale of her philanthropy, but because it demonstrated the extraordinary potential that lies within each person to make a difference. As Sophia looked to the future, she knew that the greatest challenges and the greatest opportunities for positive change still lay ahead. But she faced them with the same spirit of optimism and determination that had guided her since childhood. The little girl who had once wanted to make everyone smile had grown into a woman dedicated to building a more just, sustainable, and compassionate world for all. And so, Sophia's story continued, a testament to the enduring power of kindness, vision, and the belief that one person, no matter their age or circumstances, can indeed change the world. Elle continue en serre. As Sophia entered her 4th decade, her vision for global change continued to evolve and expand. The foundation she had built from her childhood inheritance had become a powerful force for positive transformation, but Sophia knew that the greatest challenges still lay ahead. Climate change had accelerated, causing more frequent and severe natural disasters. Inequality had widened in many parts of the world despite technological advancements. New global health crises emerged, testing the resilience of communities and healthcare systems. In the face of these challenges, Sophia's foundation doubled down on its efforts to create systemic change. The Global Resilience Network became Sophia's most ambitious project yet. This initiative aimed to create a worldwide web of self-sustaining, eco-friendly communities that could serve as models for a new way of living. These communities integrated cutting-edge green technologies, regenerative agriculture, and innovative social structures designed to promote equality and well-being. From the arid landscapes of North Africa to the dense urban centers of East Asia, these resilience hubs began to take shape. They showcased how communities could thrive while living in harmony with nature and each other. Solar-powered vertical farms produced abundant food in desert regions. Waste-to-energy systems turned cities into closed-loop ecosystems. Community-owned businesses ensured equitable distribution of resources and opportunities. As these model communities proved their effectiveness, governments and organizations around the world began to adopt their principles and technologies. Sophia's foundation provided open-source blueprints and training programs, allowing the ideas to spread rapidly and adapt to local contexts. Throughout this period, Sophia continued to grow both as a leader and as an individual. She became a mother, an experience that deepened her commitment to creating a better world for future generations. Her children joined her on visits to foundation projects, learning from an early age about the importance of compassion, responsibility, and global citizenship. As Sophia approached her 50th birthday, she could look back on a life that had touched millions. The little girl who had inherited millions had leveraged that unexpected gift into a global movement for positive change. Yet, she knew that the work was far from over. In a powerful speech to mark her 50th year, Sophia reflected on her journey and laid out a vision for the future. She spoke of a world where wealth was measured not in money, but in the strength of communities, the health of ecosystems, and the well-being of all people. She challenged humanity to reimagine its relationship with the planet and with each other, to move beyond short-term thinking and embrace a long-term view of shared prosperity. The greatest inheritance we can leave for future generations, she said, is not money or possessions, but a world where every child has the opportunity to thrive, where nature flourishes, and where compassion guides our actions. As she concluded her speech, Sophia made one final announcement. She would be transitioning leadership of her foundation to a diverse council of young leaders from around the world. This council, composed of graduates from the Future Leaders Academy and other emerging changemakers, would guide the foundation into its next chapter. Sophia's role would shift to that of mentor and advisor, allowing her to focus on nurturing the next generation of global leaders while also dedicating more time to her family and personal growth. As the world celebrated Sophia's 50 years of impactful work, the story of the 5-year-old who inherited millions had become legend. But more than that, it had become a blueprint for how one person's choices could set in motion waves of positive change that rippled across generations. Sophia's legacy was not just in the projects she had funded or the lives she had directly touched, but in the countless individuals she had inspired to believe in their own power to make a difference. From schoolchildren organizing local cleanup drives to business leaders reimagining corporate responsibility, Sophia's story had ignited a global movement of everyday changemakers. As she blew out the candles on her 50th birthday cake, surrounded by family, friends, and colleagues from around the world, Sophia made a wish. Not for herself, but for the world, a wish for continued courage, compassion, and creativity in facing the challenges ahead. The little girl who had once inherited millions had given the world something far more valuable: hope, and a roadmap for a better future. And as Sophia looked to the horizon, she knew that the greatest chapters of this global story of change were yet to be written, not just by her, but by all those who dared to dream of a better world and took action to make it a reality.